Hey, Haru, welcome in. Hello, hello. How you doing? And yeah, okay. You caught me. I hadn't got everything up yet. Just getting started. Driving around to food and quarters for laundry. Ah, okay. Well, we're going to take it easy today, too. I'm going to do everything this afternoon, get it all done at one time. I'm just getting to working on some things today. I'm starting early so we can get some of these things done. I am going to make a cheese souffle. Broccoli and cheese specifically. We are going to take our time on this one. Some tomato and steak caprese. So we gotta actually marinate that steak, so we're gonna do that first. Let's see, we need, I'll go ahead and start gathering up the things for that. We're gonna start using some, we're gonna use some of my favorite things today. Garlic, basil, shallots. It actually doesn't look like it's all that difficult, so I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. I've never made souffle before. I think the joke is you're not supposed to yell at it or it'll deflate. Also supposed to let the eggs sit at room temperature, so we're going to have to put those out. Also noticed something interesting. You could say the same for some of our friends. That's true. Now, I went to go grab the milk and figure out if I needed to get more or not, and I realized something. And that is that the dates on the milk containers are going way, way further out. And it was okay after a few days of being in the fridge. And I honestly think that may not be a good thing, because what I'm hearing is that there's starting to be more of a dairy shortage as well, which means that the ones that have the longer dates on them are the ones that are almost running out of, so those are the freshest. Meaning that what you normally get is old, and I don't think that. I'm not sure how many days we need today, so I'm just going to sit out the last 8 here in this carton. Let them sit out. Like I said, we're just going to take our time today. Watch out for all that flooding out there. Someone who shall remain nameless managed to hit some of it in the dark. And I just shot a drink all the way across the room, everywhere. God damn it. Well, now we're going to be delayed another 10 minutes. I just dumped an entire 2-liter. It's everywhere. Damn it. I mean, gosh darn it. Jesus, it's all over the counters. And it's all over my computer. Yes. Boy, this has been a really crappy week, I gotta tell you. Oh. Sorry, folks, there's going to be a little delay. For anybody just tuning in, I mean, just pulling an entire 2-liter all over the kitchen and the computer and everything. In like the last 10 seconds. I'm gonna need a minute. All over my keyboard. It's a good thing I don't drink sugar. These won't leave sticky stuff behind. Almost done. Not have to be good enough. Okay, well, welcome in. It's April 5th, Saturday, and we are going to do our cooking show today. And today we have 3 recipes, really only 2, but I'm going to make some salad as well. Making some broccoli and cheese souffle, and we're going to be making some steak and really basil caprese. And I'm going to make a Caesar salad too. All the while marinating myself in Diet Dr. Pepper. Okay. I'm probably gonna need the next couple of minutes. I'll be done in a minute, in a few. All right, we'll start again. Because I seized your set. Oh. Alright, so we've set out some eggs to let them warm up. And we're going to start doing our marinade for our steak caprese because it needs to sit in a bowl and sit for at least 2 hours. So we're going to do that the very first thing and let it sit for as long as we can. It won't be 2 hours, but it'll be close. So let's go ahead and switch on over. Signal's making stream a little choppy. That's okay. Just switch it over to audio only if you're driving. We can't have you get hurt. I'm the one taking all the damage right now. You all aren't allowed. Okay, so to make the caprese, hey Dio, welcome in. We're gonna get one of our glass bowls out because the stuff we're using is very acidic when pulled up. Here in this state, if you get spotted doing that, they will ticket you. Let me adjust the camera just a hair. I think I bumped it. Ah! It's not super stable. You're in a parking lot? Oh, that's okay then. So, first off, our caprese. Our caprese is our skirt steak, which we're going to marinate. I found some relatively inexpensive ones last night. Hi, Flo, Dio, Neo, Rio. Apparently, Haru is stuck in the 90s this week. In the early 2000s. That's okay. So this is our skirt steak. It's very thin and very stripy. We've got some garlic here. We need some basil. Now for this one we're going to use dry. For this part of it we're going to use dry. Souffle, yes. Here, knows. I know you're busy with other people. It's okay. It's good to see you though. We need thyme and oregano. Let's see. Thyme and oregano. You all don't understand. I have 4 racks of spices. It takes me a minute to find them all. Bad French, good. Ça me couper le souffle. You're a car and you're in the souffle. Okay, gotcha. Ça me. Y'all are gonna eventually get me pronouncing it correctly, and that's I don't know how good of a thing that is. And we need a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. And we need wait. I seem to have forgotten something. Okay. I can fix this. Give me just a second. We were talking just the other day about how some of us just keep a lot of backup ingredients. Well, I do that too. Things that we'll actually use. In this case, I needed 2 pounds of tomatoes. So, that's kind of a big uh-oh. So, what we're going to do, we're going to use our cans of tomatoes for this one. This is 1 pound right here. And then I've got some spares. This is 14 ounces. And this is 14 ounces, so that's 2 pounds. There we go. Having canned tomatoes around is always a good idea. And apparently my neighbor decided to mow the grass at exactly the hottest part of the day. Good job, dude. Oh, he's got 2 beers on his lawnmower. Great. Okay. We need a 1/4 cup of olive oil. We need a red wine vinegar. Let me dig that up. We don't use the red wine vinegar all that much. All right. That's red cooking wine. Where's vinegar? Still. There we go. All right, we've got our relatively new bottle of red wine vinegar here. This is a very mild vinegar. It doesn't have a very strong taste to it. Now we still need some olive oil. that is it for the marinade. I have a very big bottle of olive oil for this one. Yes, I buy it a gallon at a time. Alright, so let's set this up. Let me get the picture. And we are going to apparently put it in the tomatoes. Are we putting it in the tomatoes? No, we're not putting it in the tomatoes just yet. That's what I thought. We'll set this aside. I've really not had a good week this week. Alright, so there's our marinade. Let me set up our picture. This will be in Discord. Welcome to join Discord if you wish. There's a permanent link under the stream. So let us know you're there so that we can set you up. I'm going to start pulling these a little more forward so y'all get less of the bad table behind me. Okay. Let's get it all measured. We need about a teaspoon of each of our basil, thyme, and oregano. We'll start with that. Hopefully these didn't get wet. They did. We need 1 teaspoon to each. Yeah? And there we go. Okay. So we've got a lot of herbs. Thyme, oregano, and basil. Now, next up, we got to chop up our garlic here. It calls for 2 cloves. I'm going to use 3. Not going to make much difference. Rough cut. There we go. Okay. Next up is our red wine vinegar. Now this does offer some acidity to the dish, to the marinade, so that'll help it penetrate into the meat a little better. Now, when it says a non-reactive bowl, it generally means plastic or glass. I don't use this one all the time. It tends to collect dust. So we've got our non-reactive bowl there. Let's see. How much red wine vinegar do we want? I believe it's about a 1/4 cup. Yeah, 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar and a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Oh, this is a new one. We haven't opened it yet. Dude, why are you going into my yard? It's gonna be one of those days, isn't it? All right, so we got a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. We're not going to get quickly that way. We're going to get a 1/4 cup of our olive oil. And I'm also going to add a little bit of salt to this. Not much, just a little. I want it to penetrate. Yes, continue playing, thank you. I wish it wouldn't do that. picked up a little turmeric. This is not quite a full, well, it's a little over a pound. If you didn't know, this is actually folded. See, skirt steak is a very thin steak. Has a lot of fat in it. So let's combine our ingredients here into a marinade and put them in, then put them in. Brush it. We're going to need a bigger bowl than that. Going to drop in our olive oil. And our red wine vinegar. And our garlic. Remember, we're just making the marinade right now. We're going to have to put this into our... Normally you would grill this, but we're just going to have to try to do the best we can with our frying pan. Our basil, oregano, thyme, and just a couple of shakes of salt. This is more of an Italian dish, so we're going to not be spicy today. This will have some very strong herb overtones to it. There's our herb marinade. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of brush this in and then pour it in there. Flip that over. Alright, so there's the basis of our marinade. Now we're going to go ahead and just pour the rest of it in there and let it soak. Hey Zephyr, welcome in. Yeah, we're going to start that here in a few minutes. That's going to be, we're going to take the most time on that one today, I think, because the steak and caprese salad is not going to take all that long. The skirt steak will cook in like less than 10 minutes, so. Okay. I'm just going to take my time with things today. I'm not in a rush. Alright. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and cover that with some plastic wrap. We're going to put this in the fridge and let it sit for a couple hours, or as long as we can anyway. Now in the meantime, we're going to do the rest of our food prep this week. I'm going to do all of it today, not just some of it. See, I'll get all the boring stuff too, right? And then we'll get started on the souffle here. Now, even though I didn't put any of it on the table, I'm going to go ahead and spray this down with some cleaner. Okay. Now, one thing I like to do, which y'all have mentioned it a few times, I haven't actually done it for you. Very simple. If you're trying to get a little weight off or not eat as much, this will work for you pretty well. And I make these yogurt bowls that I take with me, and we load them up with chia seed. The chia seeds don't really change the flavor any, but they are incredibly high in fiber and they're very good for you. And they help you feel very full. So I get about a little over a tablespoon for these. And then we add in granola, and you can take whatever you like. I got high protein, I got oat and honey, I got fruit and nut. And these generally last a good while. We're going to use the oat and honey protein here. Apparently a little more than a tablespoon of that too. You eat this and you wait about 10 minutes with your yogurt, and it will kill off a lot of the hunger appetite problems. Just saying. One of the better things for you. Generally, I use Greek yogurt. Looks like a lot of my little bowls are in the dishwasher, so we'll have to wait a minute. Okay. Let's get started on our souffle. Now this is about 10 servings. Now 10 servings is not a lot in this case. What they're baking this in are these, which are your 10-ounce ramekins. Now I've only got 3 of these. And I have our pastel colored smaller ones, which are, I believe, only 4 ounces. So we're going to have to use these today for this recipe. Now we're going to need 3 large eggs. And these are still kind of warming up. They need to be at room temperature. So we're going to let them just continue to warm up. In this case, I'm going to use 4. We'll make it a little fluffier. We need 4 tablespoons of butter and our broccoli, of course. I'm using sweet cream butter for this. There are 3 tablespoons in this particular one left. That's good enough for our setup.
Right. Extra.
Hey Esther, welcome in. How you doing? Thank you so much for coming in today. Right. So we got 2 bunches of broccoli. We are going to kind of chop it up today. Today we actually, for once, want to chop it up. Hope everybody, I hope y'all are having a good weekend so far. We need 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. We are going to go with what's in the recipe today, because I have not made these before, and this is kind of baking, so we have to be precise. Let me go grab some flour. This is your standard white all-purpose. What was that? Not getting upset today. We're not getting upset. 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. Hey, Sen. Hello. Welcome in. Sen, you better take your pills right now because I am going all out with the cheese and the butter right now. How are you doing? Welcome in. Oh, these have still got some stuff in them. We are working on some broccoli and cheese souffle. Both healthy and not at the same time. Believe it or not, it's actually not that much cheese. It's mostly eggs. It's kind of like making quiche. Alright, you need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Of course, I always eyeball those, and that one's not going to affect anything. I'm going to call that a little bit more than a 1/4. Quarter's not much. Don't go overboard. And there's our salt. And next up, we need a 1.5 cups of 2% milk. We need 2 cups of shredded cheddar. There we go. This is what I was mentioning earlier about the milk. Apparently the supplies are getting a little low and they're giving us some more fresh stuff. This milk has got a 2-month date on it. I am not kidding you. It has got a date of July. Normally when we see it, this is the broccoli and cheese souffle. Normally when we see milk, it only has about, a week or 2 left on the date. That means it's old supply and it's been sitting in the warehouse for a while as it's getting used. Now they can't keep a backstock apparently. So we need a 1.5 cups of the milk. And that's actually a good thing for me, but overall I don't know how good of a thing it is. Because I don't use it very much. And we need our cheese. Here's the cheese. I did get a block today. We've got kind of a medium cheddar. Something on it. There we go. Yeah, the broccoli and cheese souffle today, and we also have a steak and tomato caprese salad as well, which we're going to be making. We've already made the marinade, and the skirt steak is in the refrigerator marinating now. And that's going to take a little while, so we're just going to take our time and do this right. Some Dijon mustard and some dried breadcrumbs too. Otherwise, this isn't going to be a baking dish. It's just going to be eggs and cheese. So Dijon. Got stone ground mustard here. All of my cups, my little metal cups, are stained with turmeric. I make so many Indian dishes. So there we go. We got some stone ground Dijon. Steak and caprese. It's an Italiano. I think the English, the U.S. pronunciation would be caprese. I'm also going to make a Caesar salad too, but that one's just kind of in the middle here. Now we also have 2 tablespoons of dry breadcrumbs. I'm going to use the Italian breadcrumbs. If you look, when you go into the store, you're going to see a couple of different boxes. And if you don't pay attention, you're going to get the wrong one. They have plain, they have Italian, and they have panko. Panko is the larger style for the Japanese. I, however, do have Italian. I have 2 tablespoons left. Doesn't look like it. But let's see. These are very fine. And I think they do have a little bit of seasoning to them, but not much. So there's our Italian breadcrumbs. Yes, that's correct. Are you doing something in the background or something? I feel like you're up to something. Let's see. And I believe that's it. So we're going to go ahead and get a picture for our setup. So there's not a whole lot of ingredients to this. I am going to have to shred the cheese. We'll do that here in a minute. And we'll post this in Discord too. Now we need to separate our eggs, meaning that we're going to separate the whites from the egg yolks. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. Unfortunately, our little Japanese separator didn't really work out. Hello, welcome in, Raiders. How are we doing today? Last one was really hard, but I assume it will only get harder. Oh, Super Meat Boy. I played one of those. Let me get a shout out for you. Welcome in. And Einer, hello. Welcome in. Oh, thank you, Dio. How are you all doing, Raiders? Welcome in. You've come in on one of our weekly specials. I do cooking streams on the weekends for food prep because I actually make this for 4 or 5 days for work. So I try to share with everybody so they can learn a little bit too. It's been some time. How you doing? What's on the menu? I could be better, but I'll be all right. The menu today is a steak caprese salad. And we are working on our broccoli and cheese souffle right now as well. We're being a little fancy, but not too fancy. I've never made a souffle before, so this is the first time. Basically an experiment for me. How are you all doing? Welcome in. And what was, let me see here. I didn't catch the game. What were y'all doing today? Oh, Arceus. Okay. You know, that's funny. I still really don't know a whole lot about Pokemon stuff. Only what Sen and After play. But it's so good to see you all. Thank you for coming in. We do the cooking show about once a week, usually, unless I'm on vacation or something. And we do a couple of gaming streams during the week. So let me show you the old school technique. What you want to do is you want to hit your egg on the flat side, or on the long side here. You want it on a flat surface as much as possible so you don't shatter it and make lots of sharp edges. Oh, thank you for the follow as well. And you just want to go back and forth with the yolk, trying very carefully not to break it. And just let the whites of the egg flow outward like this. And you can separate them just like that. That's the old school way to do it. You don't need anything special. And as long as you're careful with it, it works great. We're going to do that with 4 of them today. What we're going to do, the puffy part of our souffle is from our egg whites. We're literally going to turn these into what you would know as meringue. I'm going to do the same thing again. 1 hit. Try to keep the egg from getting all busted up. Ooh. And just back and forth. Just like that. That's how you learned it too? Uh-oh. This one's got a thick membrane. There we go. Just back and forth. And that one came out very quickly. This one, we kind of messed up the shell a little bit. But that's fine. Not a big deal. Always use your eggshell half for pulling things out. So if you get a shell piece in there, or you get a little bit of the yolk like I just did in there, just use the eggshell to do it because it'll stick to it a lot easier. You try to put a spoon or something in there, and it's just going to run away from it. Hey, Boo Boo, welcome in. Oh, we got to hydrate too. Okay, just a second. I've got eggs all over my fingers. I am using 4 eggs with this one. In the original reference recipe, there was only 3, but I wanted to make it a little puffier. We're going to need a blender for this one too. Or a mixer.
Right. Extra.
Hey Melina, welcome in. Hello. My goodness, we've got so many friends in today. All right, so there's our egg. We've got them separate. Get that. There we go. So now, our next phase here is going to be getting our broccoli made up here. Now our broccoli, in this case, normally we try to cut off the little florets and be careful with them and so on and so on. In this case, we're actually going to end up blitzing them. We're going to turn them into, not a mash. Boo. Boo. We're going to not turn them into a mash like a pulp, but we are going to break them up very thoroughly, like more like your herbs. Because this is going to be blended in to the mixture with our cheddar cheese and our eggs. So I'm going to rinse this off fairly thoroughly. You could also take the time, if you want to do it, to douse it in a little bit of salted water. And let it sit. If it's fairly fresh, it might have, dirt and things in it, and you want to do that. This has probably been sitting in the store for a little while. Let me get a bigger bowl. We're still going to cut our florets out like this. Just cut around the outside edge and work your way in. We are going to keep some of the stems here, but I'm going to pull off all these little bits of leaves. I'm going to cut the bottom half off. Now with these, we can pretty much just chop them down. Normally I would tell you not to do this because, as you can see, it creates the cutoff, that creates all these little bits, but we actually want those this time. This is kind of a different one. So I'm just trimming these down so that we can put them in the food processor. Nothing big, but nothing tiny either. Broccoli is really evil miniature alien. I've not heard that one before. I will say that you don't want to eat too much of it. It is good for you, but you don't want to eat too much. It's my understanding that it can cause kidney stones if you eat too much of it. As you can see here, it's cutting it to bits very, very quickly. It's shredding it. They're good aliens, though. Okay. In this case, all this is for, adding the color and a little bit of flavor. I feel like I'm committing some kind of sacrilege doing this. I'm so frequently when I'm using broccoli, it's to go with things like stir fry, so I have to be very careful with it. This just feels like I'm committing a sin or something. Now we are going to use the stems for this too. I'm not going to use all of them, but we're going to put them in there. I'm not going to use the heavy, thick core. Now let me rinse this one off too. Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you, Sen. I had never thought of doing that. Oh! Shoot, I just lost one. Oh well, we probably have more than enough anyway. Same thing, we're just gonna trim out some of our stem parts. All the little leaves. I know I'm using my curved knife today. It's a little easier to rock on these things. I've half got the essence of being a Chinese chef. I've gotten so used to using that cleaver for everything. Yeah. The one I normally use is this one, the Japanese one. These were not very expensive. They stayed very, very sharp. The blade is a good quality blade. I know a lot of places use these knives that are like $600 and $700, but that one was like $35, and I haven't had to sharpen it yet. Still cuts right through the tomatoes like they're nothing. This one hasn't been sharpened either, and I've had this one for 3 years. This is a Damascus blade. I think it was about $70. 100. Well, no, this one was about 100. Yeah, 35. They were on sale. Their normal price was 70. But still. I have the whole series. All of them that they make. And I have absolutely no complaints in them at all. We've got our half one, which is our vegetable chopper here. We've also got a almost a katana here. Our slicing knife. I'm not a representative of their company, but you can buy a whole set of them for like under $300. It's definitely worth it. Gonna grab. Okay. Thank you, Dio. All right. So there is all of our broccoli. We got our broccoli chopped up. We're going to need to divide out our butter as well. Now, we get our cheese. Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay. So the next part of this, of course, is our cheese, but we also have to talk about what we're going to do in the first part here. So we're gonna take our rinsing basket. We're gonna boil up some water and steam that broccoli with it. It'll cook pretty quickly. Mike should have done that before I chopped them up, but that's okay. Then we are going to take our remaining butter here, which is about 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to stir in our flour and our salt and our pepper until it's nice and smooth, and then we're going to gradually add the milk to it. So that's going to be the basis for our cream. We're going to bring that up to a boil and cook it for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then we're going to add in 1.5 cups of our cheese and the mustard. And then we're going to stir that in until the cheese is melted. So that is the base. That is our sauce for this one, really. We're going to mix in our egg yolks. Bring in our broccoli. Then we beat our egg whites until they're nice and stiff. And then we fold that in. So basically, really, this is almost kind of like making a cheesecake. It really is. A Japanese cheesecake, anyway. That's a very similar process. The only difference is here we're using cheese and we're using broccoli, and we're not using just eggs and butter and sugar. Okay. So that's not too bad. We're going to use some of our butter to grease our ramekins. That's why it says remaining butter. And then we just bake these for about 20 minutes until they puff up. Hopefully they'll puff up. So while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start getting some water boiling. Because on my stove, that takes a little while. Ooh, I can smell that vinegar. All right, cheese. Let's take care of the cheese while that's boiling. I'm sorry about this one, but yeah, I got to use this. I'm sorry for those of you out there that know the lore behind it. Where's your cheesecake? I haven't made one in a while, but I can do another one sometime soon, maybe. Oh, we got a joke. Oh gosh. Most of the ones I had in my head were not exactly safe for stream. I know one I was telling her earlier. One of the most sad things you'll ever see is a mosquito on a mummy. You can try all you like, little friend, but you're not going to get anything. Just give it up. Ah. And there's bonus points for anybody out there that recognizes that one. I did borrow that one. But unless you're my age, probably don't know. So we got about 8 ounces of medium cheddar this time. A little bit more oomph to it. We're just gonna loosely shred it here. You get a lot more if you do it this way than if you just buy it. Greater the nemesis of no. Yeah. Luckily, these aren't as bad as a microplane. You can generally hit these and not tear your fingers all to shreds. That is a whole bag of cheese right there. You generally pay $2 for the cheap stuff. $3 now. Block only costs $1.25 or $1.50. So just saying, might be a better option for you if you want to take 5 minutes to do what I just did. Our whole menu today, all 3 of them, was a little, just a hair under $100 for the whole week. So that's not too bad. Now, one thing about this is that when you're boiling things and you're involving eggs, if you're boiling for cream or anything like that, you need to be very careful with what you're doing with the eggs, because the eggs will curdle. They'll get all, they'll look like they're cooked, like scrambled eggs. And if that happens, well, it's kind of useless to you. You don't want that to happen. Same goes for making hollandaise sauce or anything like that. Break their knuckles? Yeah, you can say all you want about cheese graters, but the real evil in the kitchen is the mandolin. Yeah, there you go. I have a very expensive one, but getting dusty too. But you run your hand across that one, and you're gonna really regret it. Cheese with Folgers, oh boy. Welcome in. Now normally when I'm steaming things, I'll use one of these. I'm sure you all have seen them before and wondered why your mom had one. You just set it down in the water and let it steam it. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to use my little wire basket, because I probably shouldn't have threaded it first. So now the other one that'll get you, which is actually probably as painful or more so, is one of these. This is what I mean by a microplane. One of these things. I don't know if you can see it or not, but they have teeth. Those teeth will shred you to bits. When I was at work and we needed to cut onion fast, the service coworker grabbed the mandolin and started slicing. I heard a scream. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! So what we're doing right now, we've already got the rest of this mostly prepped. We still have to do this, but what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and steam our broccoli here and get that done real quick. Boiling it and steaming it is only going to take about 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 6. Then we're going to melt a little bit of butter, and we're going to take another brush, and we're just going to kind of coat the inside of these. I've got a bunch more of them over on the counter over there. We'll see how many it takes, since I'm baking small ones too. And then we'll start working on our blend part as well. There's a lot of process, but not a lot of ingredients, so that's good. I'm gonna have to. I might have to take a little bit of time here in a couple of weeks and uh, not stream for a couple of days because I'm gonna have to take that time to start fixing things again. As those that have been here a long time know, I have a tendency to take a long time to fix things because I'm so busy, and it seems that a number of my services that I was using are gone now. So my little shout out bot isn't working anymore. And a few other things were broken too, so we're gonna have to work on that. I gotta come up with a new one. We'll just hop over here, y'all can watch the steam. So we got a pretty good boil going on here. Use our little steamer, our little wash basket here. Just like that. I know, I'm cheating. We'll just cover that up. Let it steam. I have luckily not had a mandolin accident. Ooh. I've cut my thumbs before, even live, but I managed to do it in a way that y'all didn't see it. But I've not done that. I'm definitely afraid of doing that, so I'm very careful. Alright, so we're at 3:30. We're going to give that about 5 more minutes. And then pull it aside. We want it to be cooked, but we don't want it to be soggy. I don't know if you could see it yet, but it's already starting to get darker. Darker is good. Anything but soggy. Yeah, you don't want it soggy. I also didn't. I had some close calls with clearing the meat slicer, though. Oh, no. I used to have one of those, but someone in my family decided it was theirs. So I don't have it anymore. 82 outside? Wow. Y'all might have noticed I'm wearing a watch for once. It actually is monitoring my condition. It's also ratting on me. Yeah, I know I only got 4.5 hours of sleep. Thanks. You don't have to keep telling me. Soggy broccoli. Yeah, I don't like it soggy. In this case, we are kind of reducing it down to its very smallest elements. We are going to use our food processor on it. We want it to become part of our basically our cheese sauce. So it's going to be a little bit. No, did you know many people use it in the kitchen? That digital watch, like the main chef has it, and my sous chef has one too. Really? Huh. Okay. Right now, it's about the only time this week I've had a normal heart rate. I guess it's because I'm up on my feet moving. My heart rate is very, very low. That's one of the things we discovered. Apparently, one of my medicines is causing me to have bradycardia. I'm generally down in the 40s and 50s. 50s awake and 40s asleep. For most of the youngins out there, they're in their 70s and 80s most of the time. And that's fine, that's normal. Looking pretty good. All right, we're about at 5-minute mark, so we don't want this to get too soggy. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Looks very nice. That's about what you want. All right, so the first stage is done. Don't know for sure yet. I'm sure you are. Ah! Accidentally clicked something I shouldn't have. Fix this off real quick. I'll be right there. Okay. I have to watch things as I go. So now we've got our broccoli ready. Next up, let's go ahead and prep our little dishes here. Now, obviously, I'm going to need a little more butter than they say because I always need a little more butter than they say. I may not be using salt very much, but I do use butter. There's a couple ways you can do this. The way I was always taught was to just take a piece of a chunk of a paper towel, like this. At work is always way higher because of stress oil, obviously. I mean, heck, I'm doing it right now. So there we go. We got like a light coating of butter in here. We're going to have to do this to all of them. So this is going to take a few minutes. This is probably, in this case, this is probably the most efficient way to do it for you. Me personally, I prefer to just melt the butter and brush it in, but that probably won't work in this case. You can see 1 tablespoon of butter is going pretty far. I got a few more over here. These have served us, these little pastel ones have served us since the very beginning of our streams. I bought these probably a month into streaming with the cooking. And believe it or not, for those that are here, that's been almost 4 years. I didn't do that initially. I didn't stream the cooking initially. But since I had an extra computer, this ancient box is still running. And yes, it truly is an ancient box. This computer is a Gen 4. It's like 15 years old. It's running on a 970 GT. 1 tablespoon of butter. Just coated all of those, and we still have enough to do another one. So that's the best way to do it. In this case. Now we got to start making our cream sauce, our cheese and cream sauce. Yeah, it's an ancient box. Doesn't matter. I always have built computers to last way past their prime. The box before this one was a Core 2 Duo, and the one before that was a P4. The one before that was a P3. I still have the Pentium Pro chip and the 30-pin Sims that were in it. Okay, let's dump out our little bit of broccoli water here. You can tell we didn't get too much of it in there because the color is only slightly green. That's really good. That means we didn't lose very much of our minerals or anything else. Now for our sauce, we're going to use a very small pot. Wait a minute. Let me check that. I want to know if I have to put all the cheese in there at once. Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, so we're going to use the same pot. All right, for our next stage, we're going to take our saucepan here. We're going to put in about 3 tablespoons of butter, our flour, our salt and pepper, and then just kind of stir that in until it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to add the milk. Now, this is why I said we have to be careful not to curdle everything. We don't want lumps and things in it. We're going to boil that up, get it cooked for about 2 or 3 minutes until it thickens up a little. And then we're going to add a cup and a half of cheese and then our mustard. And then we're going to stir that in until the cheese is melted. This is how you make a nice cheddar cheese sauce. That's it. That would be a better cheddar sauce than your Velveeta would be that you buy off the shelf. It's better for you too. Okay. Let me get a little bit more butter because I used most of it for that. How much butter does Chef have in his kitchen right now? 4 bricks. 4 whole bricks. Why do I have that much butter? Well, you start getting to the store and you're like, well, do I actually have any more? And then you end up buying 2 extra bricks. That's how it happens. And then you do the opposite about 6 months later. You're like, oh, I'm pretty sure I still have 4 bricks left. And you don't have any, of course. Because that's how it works. You only buy butter when I'm there. Well, to be fair, a lot of the recipes you normally do are only soy sauce and oyster sauce and all. You do a lot of those. All right, here we go. So we're gonna bring the heat up slowly. I'm gonna go up to about a 4 here. I am taking a little bit of liberty here. I really didn't measure the amount of butter I used. It's somewhere around 4 tablespoons. The more the creamier. Now, this is where I was talking about the curdling situation. We're dancing with this one today. Yeah, I don't do much with butter, but the naan and melted butter. Oh yeah, there you go. So we're trying our best here not to curdle anything. We've got several things that can curdle here. So we've got eggs, we've got our egg yolks, we've got milk, we've got all sorts of stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're going to melt in our butter and we're going to stir in our flour and our salt and our pepper. This is basically just going to create kind of a paste. And then we'll add the milk to it very slowly so that it doesn't curdle below temperature, and it's going to take a little while. Then we're going to mix a little bit of this in with our egg yolks. You remember the bowl of egg yolks? We're going to mix it in with the egg yolks, but not put them directly into the heat. So we're going to mix that in and let it come up and then put it back in. Again, all of this is to avoid having them get cooked too fast. If it cooks too fast, you're toast. go ahead and start getting our butter in here. There we go. We're right about the right temperature. Luckily, I have new heating elements, so they're a little more reliable. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. I don't want it sizzling. If it sizzles too much, it'll start browning, and we don't want to brown the butter in this case. But we do want to melt all of it first before we start adding in our powdered ingredients. You remember what I said earlier about marinating that steak taking 2 hours? As busy as we've been, it's already been almost an hour. So the marinating is gonna take about that long. All right, let's keep it moving. Don't constantly keep it on the heat. We've almost got it. I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing a little bit in. And that was a big chunk. You see how it's turning into a paste? There we go. Good. Now we're going to start adding in our milk. Keep stirring. There we go. There we go. First part done. I think we're supposed to go ahead and add in our mustard. Oh, wait. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Then we'll add mustard. Gotta go see, have fun cooking. Okay, we'll see you later, Einer. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for the raid as well from Poof Peak. Thank you. It was good seeing everybody. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Over on the side over here, I'm just kind of not really scrambling. I'm just mixing in our egg yolks a little bit. Because we're going to be pouring some of this mixture into that. We don't want it settling, so you're going to have to keep stirring it every now and then. Peak. Okay, cool. Thank you. It's always good to see new friends and everybody coming in. I really appreciate it. This one's turning out to be a lot of work, isn't it? If we have too much, I'm probably just going to take I think I've got I think we can risk a stoneware bowl for that. See if it can bake it. These are probably going to end up on all sorts of different bowls at this rate. Like I said, this was going to be the main focus today. The other ones are easy. All right, starting to boil. I can hear it starting to stick a little to the bottom, so gotta keep stirring. You see how, I don't know if you can tell, but it's starting to thicken up already. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little. This is gonna be a cheese sauce, remember. All right, it is starting to boil up. So let's go ahead and drop in our mustard. Get that mixed in. Our salt, pepper. I'm turning the heat down. And in goes the cheese. You know, I didn't bother to actually check to see how much cheese this is. Oh well. You gotta stir this pretty vigorously. All right, now we need to mix a little bit of this in with our eggs, yolks. So you want to cook the eggs, but not turn them into egg, scrambled eggs. Turn them scrambled eggs for toast. And there we go. We mix that mixture back in. And I've reduced the heat so it won't curdle. That looks perfect. We got some ads coming up here in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to sit down for a minute while the ads are going. Now remember, we have a baking part of this as well. So you don't need to worry too much about the eggs not being 100% right at the moment. I'm sure they are already. I'm taking them off the heat. Alright, we're going to pull that off the heat now. No more heat. We're going to let that cool down for just a couple of minutes. Now we need to make what would be considered a meringue. We need to blend in our egg whites. Oh, we also need to go ahead and add in our broccoli. So we can do that too. Oh my goodness. Wow, that smells great. All right, we got an egg coming in about 30 seconds. So I'm gonna sit back for a minute and we'll come back over here to the table. Oh. Woo. Not bad, not bad. This is not going to take too much longer. Okay, we should be in commercial break. I know not everybody is, but some of us are. So while we're in commercial break, we're going to go ahead and set up the next part. We've got our egg whites here. Okay, where's the blender? I keep saying blender, but it's actually the mixer. And I need both of those whisks that we used earlier, so I gotta watch those. Give me just a minute. Do earlier? I don't think I did. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. I honestly use these ones for the mixer here. I just use them as regular ones for everything else that we're doing most of the time. I don't see a need to buy another one when I've already got those. Being cheap, if you will, but it's not really. I just don't see a need. Okay, I think our commercials are done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start beating our egg whites until they're nice, frothy, and form stiff peaks. So this is going to take a couple minutes. Hey, welcome in, Uncle Stinky. All the way from Seattle. I'm literally all the way across the country from you. Welcome in. And there we go. That is all there is to it. It's not hard at all. You just got to take a minute to do it right. So if you look here, all we've done is we've just put it on increasing speed. And look at this. You see that? We've got nice stiff foam now. Hey, Jern, welcome in. Hello. Make mayo. Maybe later. How are you doing? Welcome in. Now we are making our cheese souffle our broccoli and cheese souffle right now. So we've got our cheese and broccoli mix right now, and now we've got our puffy part. Nope. This is just the whipped egg whites. We're gonna fold this into our cheese mix here and make it nice and light. That is, however, half of mayo. Yes, that's correct. You'd have to mix it with oil next if you were going to make mayo. We're doing the fancy stuff. So we've got our cheese mix. This is a medium cheddar. It should have a little bit of bite to it. A lot of flavor. This has got a couple of egg yolks in it. What we're going to do is now we're going to fold in our egg whites, our fluffy egg whites, into our cheese mix. We're not mixing it, we're folding it. We don't want to crush it. We want to make the base mix lighter. Souffle is supposed to be light and fluffy. And this whole time, you can see already it's starting to become a lot poofier. You see that? It's thinning out a little bit. This is the exact same thing you would do as if you were making a cheesecake too. You end up using a lot of the same processes for a lot of different things. And this is the first time I've done this. But this should make it nice and airy. We're just going to keep folding it in. Folding it in. Going to keep mixing and mixing slowly. What's cheesecake? A couple of years ago, I made a Japanese cheesecake here. It's very similar. I already mentioned it, but yeah. We could do it again. You see how the pot's getting fuller and fuller? I'm not adding a lot of volume or adding a lot of weight. I'm adding a lot of volume. Just empty air. This is our souffle. Took a little while, but not too long. It did say it takes about an hour, and this took about a little over an hour. So I didn't do too bad. It smells great. It smells like it does smell like cheddar. It does have that broccoli smell to it. It's not strong, but I can smell it. Now, what are the breadcrumbs for? Well, the breadcrumbs, we're going to put those on top, kind of give it a little bit of a crust. We still have to bake this to solidify it. So one more step. And then we can start on our steak caprese. So we've got a nice, light, fluffy, airy cheddar mix here with our broccoli. And of course, you're absolutely correct in thinking that you can do other things just like this. You just follow the same basic steps. I'm going to grab one of our ladles here. And I'm going to start preheating the stove at 350. Now move one of the rails to the very middle. You don't want to fill these all the way up because they are going to puff up. I'm going to fill them up to the line where the neck starts opening. Hopefully that's not too much. Just like this. Remember, we grease these with butter first. Now our ramekins are designed to be used for desserts and things that go in the oven, so you don't have to worry about them too much. And if I break one, I break one. It's okay. I know where I got them and I can get more. I think I might have gotten the right amount here. We've been going through paper towels today, haven't we? I'm just cleaning these off so I don't have to scrub them later. Ooh, we may have too many. What do you know? I'm going to try to fill this last one here. I think we do. What do you know? I overestimated by 1. Not bad. Cleans the pot nicely, doesn't it? These are great. I love these. Thank you, Ben. Okay, next step. This is the last step. We're going to bake these at 350 for about 20 minutes. We're going to take a little break, but we're also going to make our Caesar salad today. I'm trying to stay calm and chill today. So I got our big rimmed aluminum baking tray here. We're going to set these down on top. There we go. That's 8 of them. Now we're going to take our breadcrumbs. One for you. Oh yeah, this would be good for you, wouldn't it? If this comes out nicely, I'll absolutely save it for next time. We're just going to cover the top with a little bit of these Italian breadcrumbs. So it gets a nice little little bit of crunch on top. It looks like 2 tablespoons was the right amount for what we have. Okay. Wow. I had some pretty high hopes for this one. Hey, Dio. Welcome back. Oh, we're all done. We've already folded in the eggs and everything. We're getting ready to put them in the oven here. Okay. So our next step here is to bake these in the oven for about 20 minutes or so until the tops are puffed up and the centers appear to be set. Now that of course is going to be kind of a judgment call, but this is going to be more like a I want to say maybe a little more like a custard, but it's going to be light and fluffy. And of course they need to sit and cool down before you serve them. Did our music stop again? I really, really hate it when it does that whole "are you there" thing. I hate that. Just play it. Nobody at a party is going to check that every 10 minutes. Alright, so we're just going to rest for a minute. Now our next recipe, which has been sitting in the fridge for a little while, is our steak caprese. Now I'm going to have to cut that in half and cook it in 2 sections because it's just too big for our frying pan. Normally you would put it on the grill and just let it cook on the grill, but I don't have a grill. And honestly, I don't trust my neighbors, so I can't leave one outside either. I won't even leave my lawnmower sitting outside, even though it's 10 years old. Now next up, we're going to have a little bit more work to do. We're going to have to make, first of all, I'm going to make a Caesar salad, but that's for a secondary thing. But we also need to start working on our steak caprese. Now this one is going to require us to grind up some shallots, a lot of basil. I've got to get 2 cups of basil. Red pepper flake, olive oil, red wine vinegar again, some kosher salt. I'm going to use sea salt and some cracked black pepper. That is for the sauce that goes on it. And then for the caprese itself, we need our tomatoes and our skirt steak and some mozzarella balls and a couple other things. So that's going to be a really nice main, which is going to be fairly light and not heavy on calories. I know I don't mention it too much, but a lot of the recipes I'm doing are not very heavy on calories. Again, I have to worry about my weight and everything else. So our broccoli souffle here is only 200 calories for a 3/4 cup size. So probably a little more for those bigger ones. It's 320 milligrams of sodium. Now, for most of you, that's not a problem. For me, that's right on the money. I'm supposed to not have much more than 300 in a recipe. It's 11 grams of carbohydrates and 12 grams of protein. So this is a pretty good mix right here. It's got a good bit of, it's not tremendously high in calories. It's not tremendously high in fat. It has a little bit of cholesterol, obviously, because of the cheese and the eggs. Not bad on sodium, not bad on carbs. Our tomato and steak caprese is actually a lot less. It's literally steak, a little bit of mozzarella, and salad. I don't have a listing for that one, but it is definitely not much. I'm going to try to rearrange these just a little bit so that there's some room. They may balloon up. I don't know. I really don't. This is the first time I've made this. Alright, our stove just clicked off, so I'm going to go ahead and set this in the oven. And we'll start working on our salad. Ooh, that's heavy. I'm going to set our timer for 18 minutes, and then we'll keep an eye on it. Actually, I'm going to set it for 16 minutes. Because we need to be aware of what's going on. Now, we'll make a little side salad here. So we can give our steak a little more time to marinate. It's supposed to marinate for about 2 hours. It's been right at 2 hours, so we're going to let it sit. If you want to do Caesar salad, this is probably the easiest salad you can possibly do. All you need to do is get some romaine lettuce, preferably not the ones that constantly get recalled because of poison. Thanks, grocery stores. Where's the romaine? My gosh. I can't get it out. Oh, there we go. This is so easy. You can do this when you're half asleep. All you need is your romaine. If you want to make the dressing, you can. But I went ahead and just bought some this time. And it just consists of lemon juice, a little bit of oil, and a couple of bits of garlic and some pepper. Croutons, you can make them yourself, or you can spend $1 and get a bag full and not waste an entire loaf of bread. And Parmesan, which is the Parmesan. Come on. Kidding me? Well, folks, first the tomatoes and now the Parmesan. I bought a can of flaked Parmesan and it is not here. Luckily, however, I still have a wedge. That's all you need right there. That's it. You can't get much easier. Okay, let's make a nice big one. You've got people coming over. It's an emergency. You gotta cook quick. Here's the distraction. Watch out for brown spots. I really hate that these bagged ones are usually contaminated with it. Don't like it. I won't use it. I will throw them away in a heartbeat. Don't make your cuts too big. I'm checking for any more brown spots. Remember, this is going to sit in the fridge for a couple days too, so. Alright, breath looks good. I don't like the heavy ribs, so I'm going to pull those chunks out at the last minute. A little bit's fine. That's up to you. So one does that much. I literally can't make this easier. You cannot make an easier salad. This is so easy. I'm glad I still had this Parmesan wedge left. Now this, how you cut this is up to you. Me personally, I'm gonna grab our. I'm sorry for the trauma, you raccoons out there. I'm gonna use the little slicer side. That's how you get those little slices that you see in the cans. That's it. You buy a wedge, it's like $3, $4. I think I actually paid $5 for it. And it's a lot more than what's in the can. That's it, my friends. That's it. Easy enough, right? I'll set a little bit of this out. I gotta put that in those little containers anyway. There's your Caesar in like 5 seconds. Have you seen anyone easier than that? And you can add a little bit of this and that if you want to. But that's it. Okay. Back to our other big complicated one today. I'm going to set this on the side. Not everything has to be difficult, you know. Yeah, I'm doing a fancy one today. Not all of them are, by any means. Steak caprese. First up, Basil. Lots and lots and lots of basil. We need about 4 cups of basil leaves. I found these larger containers of organic basil at a specialty grocery store. It's not really a specialty store, but I kind of consider it to be a specialty store because they're expensive. But this amount, this big box of basil was only $2 and change. So it's a lot better than those little packages you always see that cost $1 a piece, and they've only got like 5 leaves in them. We've got some grape tomatoes. I just bought some. You know what, y'all? We might have a problem here. I think the lady at the grocery store forgot to give me one of my bags. I'm missing tomatoes, and I'm missing the grape tomatoes too. I'm a little bit irritated here. Let me check the recipe here. All right. Not gonna get mad. This is the 3rd time that they shortchanged me. All right, so we have shallot. We have our basil. We have a little garlic. And I've got plenty of garlic. I've got 3 whole heads of garlic over here. We need some red pepper flake for this one, so it's going to have a little bit of a bite to it. I love these little jars for this kind of thing because these little, while I can't use the shaker part of it, it's still a really good jar for having this type of thing in it where you need a lot of it. We need a half cup of olive oil. I'll pull our big bottle back out. Need a half cup of olive oil. We need 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. You thought I was done with that vinegar, didn't you? Nope. Here's 2 tablespoons. The red wine vinegar has a very nice, mild flavor to it. I mentioned it earlier. It's not harsh, so it's good for making vinaigrette. We need a teaspoon of kosher salt. In this case, I'm going to use sea salt. And a little bit of cracked pepper. As always, it's about half a teaspoon right there. And since we're mixing this into a vinaigrette, I'm not going to use that sea salt. It won't dissolve very well. We want it to dissolve. Now, standard grocery, well, the store I go to has these little bottles like this. You know, the old mustard and ketchup bottles you see at the store that are $1. You need one of these if you're going to be making this kind of a dressing on a regular basis. And actually, because I'm using chopped basil, I'm not going to use this. I don't care what it says, that's not going to work. Well, now I know what that noise was yesterday. Save your glass jars. All right, I'm going to check on our souffle. Oh, it's puffed up nicely. We shouldn't even leave it in there more than another minute or two. Okay, these are the ingredients for our dressing. This is for the caprese dressing. So let me get a picture of that. We're only going to be able to make part of it because I'm going to have to actually go get a few things and finish this because the grocery store decided to rip me off. Be sure you check your bags. Even if you check them once, check them again. Alright, so we're going to make our basil vinaigrette here. We're going to combine one medium shallot, 2 cups of fresh basil leaves with the stems removed, a clove of garlic, a half teaspoon of our pepper flakes, a half cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of our red wine vinegar, 1 teaspoon of our kosher salt, in this case just regular salt, and I used a little bit less than that, and some cracked black pepper. That's what we're going to use this for. I'm at least going to make this part of it because I can't make the other part right now. We can do the steak, but I'm going to have to go and buy some tomatoes and our other missing ingredient that they decided to leave out. They owe me Parmesan, which is gone, but I have everything else but the tomatoes. I'm sorry, everybody. It's just, that's what happened this week. All right, let me check on our souffle. I'm going to let that go 1 more minute. I'm actually going to stop for a minute because I have to check this. I'm going to use a toothpick. I still got some. Well, guess we've got an extra bottle of hoisin sauce now. Okay. There. Okay, good. And an extra packet of cilantro that I didn't know about. Oh. Oh, look at those. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it looks pretty nice. Those are definitely not done in the middle. So we're going to have to let them bake a little bit longer. Looks like the elevation wins again. We're going to have to let them cook for about another 4 or 5 minutes because those are definitely not done. So let's start with our bagel. Did I get a picture? I'm not sure. So we'll get a picture of that. I'm doing too many things at one time. So remember, this is dressing, so we need to make sure that everything's all nice and fairly well blended. We don't want the stems. So we're taking the stems off. If you've never smelled fresh basil before, that is just an experience that you need to have. Especially when you start doing what I'm doing. And popping it off its stems. This is going to take you a few minutes. We do not want the stems. One little note, it depends on where you live. I live at a slightly higher elevation, so things here take a little longer to cook. It takes a little more heat, it takes a little more time. So all these recipes that I do, I'm giving you the original time, but the original time may take longer, so just keep that in mind. Prefer thyme? Yeah. Thyme, rosemary, basil, Thai basil. They all have a very unique and distinct aroma to them. This is more of an Italian flavor here, so and I knew these were going to take a little extra time today. I was hoping it wouldn't, but I knew it was going to. And what it says is 2 cups of packed leaves. Packed. Jindal, hello, welcome in. Dio, are you still there? I know Jindal won't do it. Rise up, Souffle. We are working on that right now. I'm working on the caprese, and the souffle is still. We're setting it in the oven right now. How did the game go? I didn't get a chance to see it. I saw some of it, but not very much. Okay, that's another 4 minutes. Let me check on it. That puts us at 22, which was the original maximum. Oh, it's still rising. I'm going to give it another minute or a couple minutes. Thank you, Dio. Everybody get Jindal a follow. Jindal's been here from day one and helping out with the stream, and I try to help out with his, and we all work together. So it's always a good time, and there's always a lot to be had. So I'd appreciate it if you could give him a follow too. Send too, for that matter. Everybody get Send too. I don't know if Send's still here or not. I know Sen wants his cheese. So what's for dinner? So there's been a failure. Apparently the grocery store ripped me off. I'm missing my tomatoes and I'm missing the Parmesan that I paid for. So it's luckily I had the Parmesan, but I don't really want to use canned tomatoes for this because this is a fresh salad kind of situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the dressing, I'm going to make the steak, but the final product will just have to wait until tomorrow. Look at the cute kitty. Oh, thank you. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow as well. So we've got about 2 cups here. I didn't realize it was going to be that much. That's about 2 cups. Let me check again. Yeah, they're definitely getting a little more set now. Let me check. They're a little cleaner, but it's probably going to take another minute or 2. You should have toothpicks in your cabinet, especially if you do any baking. Toothpicks are a major thing for you to be able to check things. So our broccoli and cheese souffle, it's almost done. We're down to just the last minute or 2 here. We are making the vinaigrette for the basil vinaigrette for our heirloom tomato and steak caprese. Of course, we're missing the tomatoes. Thank you, grocery store, like I said. But we're going to go ahead and make the steak, and we're going to go ahead and make the dressing here. We're going to have to fry our steak. I'm going to have to put it in a fry pan. Okay. We need to chop up our shallot, our basil, our garlic, and our red pepper flakes, and our olive oil and red wine vinegar. We're going to mix all this together in our blender here in just a minute. So I'm just trying to get that put together. I'm just checking my notes here. And I got to keep an eye on our other one here. Yeah, it's starting to brown a little bit, so I'm going to pull it out. Here are our broccoli and cheese souffle. Fresh out of the oven. Hey Lucy, welcome in. I need to set these down very quickly because they're hot. This is going to have to go in the blender. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the blender out. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take our vinegar here. So I've added the vinegar here. This is red wine vinegar. I'm going to just kind of roll through our basil. Not completely shred it. We'll let the blender take care of that. Now we need a half cup of olive oil. Hey Darius, welcome in. Hello. And hello, Geronimo Ferret as well. Thank you. It takes me a little while to answer and check chat while I'm working here. So we got a half cup of olive oil. Awful Minecraft movie. Oh boy. I've been hearing about that. Now, I myself know very little about Minecraft because it was not a thing when I was growing up. So I can understand when everybody else is having problems with it. I'll let you all have that. And we need a half teaspoon of red pepper flake for this one. It's not meant to be spicy. It's meant to just add a little bit of that flavor to it. So I'm going to use my little half teaspoon here. Ouch. We're going to add a little bit of red pepper flake. I was wondering when that one was going to come up. Oh my gosh, Lakozik as well. Hello, welcome in, Raiders. I know you guys were playing Repo. Should I start getting that one too? My Switch just crashed and I was in the middle of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Petable. Hello, Jockin. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you for the. Okay. Thank you, Jindal as well. And how did y'all do today? Not even Jack Black can save a movie that's that bad. Oh wow. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. Welcome in. We're in the middle of doing our last recipe at the moment. We're working on our red wine and basil vinaigrette. This is going to be for our steak caprese. We're a little short though because apparently the grocery store decided that I didn't actually need the tomatoes that I asked for. And the Parmesan and probably the bag that was in there. So we're going to do 2/3 of this recipe. Now I'm pulling up a shallot right now. We're going to grind this up into our sauce as well. Tomatoes aren't real. Do they go with birds? Are they in the same category? I mean, we all know that birds aren't real too, right? Sorry, all you bird furs. Sorry, songbird. We all know you're not real. What do they call them? Government spy drones? Is that what they are? Crazy people. Even if it's true, do I care? No. Okay. So we're going to cut up our shallot here. How are you doing, Lakozik and everybody from Lakozik's chat? Lakozik is a great artist. You all should follow over there. Deny it all you like, but I've been there for years. I know better. Oh gosh, what? Oh, thank you for the follow, Daturo DeWitt. Thank you as well. For those of you that are new, we do these cooking streams about once a week, and sometimes I do fancy things and sometimes I don't. Today we're kind of 50-50. We're making some basil vinaigrette right now for our caprese steak salad. We've already made our broccoli and cheese souffle, my very first souffle. I try to do recipes as best I can. I try to modify things for lower salt. The reason for that is because I have high blood pressure. So for those of you that are new, if you want to get the recipes, you're welcome to do so. I do put the modified recipes in our Discord. Entry to Discord is absolutely free. You're welcome to do so if you wish. Just remember, if you follow the link in the bottom of the tab down there, or bottom of the stream down there, that we have to let you in. So just let us know that you're there, and we'll be glad to do that. I also have any other social media links. I don't post a lot, so if you follow me, you're only going to see notices about very few things here and there. But it's so good to see everybody today. I really appreciate it. Now it says 1 clove of garlic. I'm going to put 2 in there, maybe 3. We'll go with 2. I was checking it. I'm a garlic fiend. I like to use lots of garlic. I do a lot of Asian dishes, a lot of Indian dishes as well. I'm actually pretty good at it. The Indian dishes anyway. And I've been learning more about Asian dishes mostly. Okay. And you're talking to one of the few people that doesn't mind shrimp paste as an example. Boy, this garlic doesn't want to cooperate. I've been doing this for a little while, a couple of years. We're just kind of chill over here. Yet again, there was another little tiny garlic hiding inside. All right, there we go. Got to go lurking, check in with family. Okay. I always post it on Blue Sky. I'm pretty much going to stop using Twitter. It's not worth it anymore. All right, so there's our garlic. We've got just a little bit here. We're going to drop that right in. Now, if this doesn't have enough liquid in it, we'll add a little more vinegar. Again, I'm using red wine vinegar. It's not too bad. I believe that's it. Yeah. So we're going to blend this up. Give me just a minute here. I'm going to do this off screen. It's not the right plug. There we go. We're making kind of a little bit of a thicker vinaigrette for this one. I think it's a little too thick. I'm adding a little more red wine vinegar. And I've got some salad grade olive oil. I'm going to add a little bit more. This is very green. So there is our basil vinaigrette. Because of the nature of this salad being that it's steak and mozzarella and tomato, it's probably going to be fine to use a little bit of a thicker recipe for this. Oh, they puffed up and they fell down. Oh well. I don't know if they're supposed to do that or not. I'm sure they'll taste fine. Or I did it totally wrong. We don't know. Sometimes it happens. All right, so there is our vinaigrette. I'm just going to put this over here on the side. Clean off our counter and go for the next one. All right, next up is our steak, the good steak crazy. Now what I do have is I have our steak. It's been marinating for about 2 hours now. And we have some mozzarella as well. Now the problem is that I don't have the tomatoes. I don't know what happened to them. I bought a package of small ones and a couple of big ones. I don't know where they disappeared to. I know I checked the car, so they aren't there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cook up the steak and chop it up. And we've got our vinaigrette, and we're just going to have to stop there because I'm going to have to go to the store tomorrow morning and get the rest of it. So we'll have our pictures and things like that. So let's go ahead and start working on our steak, shall we? We'll switch over to the stove. Here we go. And I'm going to grab our big fry pan. As you can see, the souffle kind of settled down a little bit. Oh, those are still hot. Those are still very hot. Oh boy. Don't do that. My hands are kind of used to the heat. I'm used to grabbing grabbing things like the rice pot out of the out of the rice cooker. You shouldn't do that though. All right, I'm going to cut our steak here in half. We're going to shake off the little bit of marinade that's on it. We're going to cook it in 2 sections. This is the skirt steak for those that came in late and came in with our raids. So the skirt steak's going to take a little bit longer to cook in one section than the other. All right. Let's start heating up our stove. I'm going to toss a little bit of oil in here so it won't stick. Okay. Are we ready for the steak? Did the music stop again? No, it's not muted. It's just decided that I'm inactive. I love it. It's not picking it up. Like I said, everything's kind of broken. I'm trying to keep going, though. The heck, Discord? What are you doing? Shoot. Discord. It decided to switch microphones. Thanks a lot, Discord. That's the second time that's happened. My apologies, everybody. Alright, I'm using olive oil for this one. You may not want to use olive oil. You may want to use something a little higher temperature. I didn't think about it, so here we go. There's half of it. Yes, the steaks. Things have not been cooperating too much today. So I apologize for that. Okay. So we're only going to want to cook this for about 4 minutes on each side. Since I'm doing 10 things at a time, I'm going to try to keep a timer going. In the meantime, I'm just going to cut the rest of everything that's supposed to be involved with this. We're just going to be missing our tomatoes in this one. And I'm just going to start paying a lot more attention to the people in the registers, because they're obviously morons. My apologies to those that work at registers, because usually they're not this problematic. But today, I guess they are. Just curious. What I'm cutting up is just a purple onion. I'm trying to pay attention to my times today because a lot of times I don't, and I overdo things. That looks about right. So 4 minutes. I like a little bit of crust, and I like it to be a little bit red, a little bit pink in the middle. Delicious miat. Yeah. We've got mozzarella pearls for this. Like I say, we're just kind of missing the tomatoes, and I have the canned tomatoes, but I don't want to use them. I can use them, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't want to. This is just a matter of personal preference. This one being the thinner end of the skirt steak, it's going to take a little less time. I just want to grab it right now. Turns out it's the right time to grab it. I'm going to go ahead and present this as best I can. Now, depending on how you like yours, you may want it a little more done than I do. That's an easy, obvious choice of being able to just choose to cook it longer. I will use 1 can of these tomatoes. But I intend to actually go get some better tomatoes. Just for the presentation part of this. Hey, Miyako. Hello. No licking the raw meat. Less than sashimi, I agree. I'm going to go the full 4 minutes on this one. The other one is like I like it, the thin end, but this one will take longer. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely filling with smoke in here. It's great. Okay. Oh, doesn't that look good? I'm going to let this cook the full 5 minutes. We'll see how long it takes. Okay, let's check. We're going to do a little trick here. And you're absolutely welcome to steal this from me. Just put the lid down on top. It puts a little bit of pressure on it. It also helps it cook a little more evenly. There is so much smoke in here right now because of that oil. I should have used a different oil. All right, let's come on back over here. Now remember, this is technically a salad. Technically. So the problem is that we're missing our tomatoes. And I apologize for that. That's as much my fault as it is theirs. But we still have 90% of it done. Oh, look at that. A little bit of crust and a little bit of pink. That's perfect. If you don't like it done like that, you can obviously do your own any way you like. Now what we're supposed to be doing here is we're supposed to be loading this up with tomatoes and mozzarella. We have the mozzarella, we have the onions, we don't have the tomatoes. I know some of you don't like it, like your steak a little bit more pink than I do. I prefer it to be a little soft. Well, it's resting now. I don't exactly have time for that. Jindal's right. It should sit on the side for a little while before you do that. But here we go. Cut it against the grain. I was cutting it lengthwise, that's all. You're at work? Well, hello, Tauntaun. We're tossing what we do have here. We're just missing our tomatoes. We've got some nice medium steak done here, skirt steak. Jindal, can we get a shout out for Tantan as well? Tantan also does a little bit of cooking himself. It looks like I'm throwing marshmallows on here, but that's actually mozzarella. Oh my gosh. There is so much smoke in here right now. Marshmallow and beef. And there is our caprese sauce. Our souffle deflated a little bit, but they still look quite good. And of course, our Caesar salad as well, because I'm eating lighter this week. Am I missing anything? Oh. So we don't miss the entire point of it. I'm going to go ahead and put in some of our tomatoes from one can. I'm going to cut up some actual tomatoes and mix them in. I don't like the fact that this was missing the tomatoes. I might go talk to the desk when I go over to the store here tomorrow and ask them why they're letting their people do that. But there we go. It was a little more work today. But we have our simple Caesar salad, which didn't take very long at all. You can buy your dressing. I would honestly suggest it because it's not worth it spending all the time and the extra money. In this case, normally I say make it yourself, but this one just didn't do it. Our souffle deflated. However, it may still be quite good. We'll see. And we have our steak caprese. So there we go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know the color's a little off. I've got the door open, letting the smoke out. I shouldn't have used that. I shouldn't have used that oil for this one. I should have used a higher temperature oil. I always admit when I make a mistake, and I'm perfectly glad to tell you that it's something we have to learn from. Anyway, so we're gonna head on out here. I'd like to thank everybody for coming in today. We had a whole lot of participation. I really appreciate that. Thank you for our new followers, Daturo, Jockin, Pafik. I really have to figure out how to make this easier to read. And Jindal, thank you for the raid, and Lakazik, as well as Pufik Wallaby. Thank you so much for those raids. Let me go ahead and get the other followers here too. I don't want to forget anybody. Let's see. Geronimo Ferret as well. Oh, that was the last one. Okay. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. And thank you too, Miyako. I'm working on it. Yeah, those of you that know what's going on know what's going on. If you want to ask me about it, you can. But for right now, just let you know that I'm okay. And may not be a problem, so we'll see. Well, let's see if we can find somebody to raid, shall we? I can't not raid somebody. We had a lot of positive engagement today, and I really appreciate everybody coming in. Let's see. I want to share the love with somebody. Oh, come on. Okay. We're going to go say hi to Ivy. As for raid message, if you've got my emotes, use them. If you don't, that's fine. Use whatever you got. We'll use the same raid message we've been using for the last 4 years. So if you want to cut and paste it in chat, you're welcome to do so. We're going to go say hi to Ivy Lore. Y'all hang back and hang out for the raid for a few minutes and share the love. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see y'all next week and the coming week. And they're no longer streaming. Uh-oh. Hold on. I gotta find another one. Let's see. How about Andy? Okay, we'll try again. Sorry about that. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week. Y'all have a great weekend and make yourself something to eat. And let me know what you did. I want to see. Bye now.